In this video, we're going to be looking at how to set up your squeegee. This squeegee in particular is the Unger Ergotech handle, the Unger S Plus channel, and the Unger Green Power rubber. This is a very good squeegee to start you off in your traditional window cleaning career, or if you're looking to do some more traditional work, this is a nice, easy squeegee to use. But let's look at how to set this tool up. To be able to cut the squeegee rubber effectively, I would recommend something like this. This is the Wolfcraft cutters, or you can buy similar items on the internet, but what it basically is a Stanley blade with a cutting plate on the bottom of it. So when you open up the jaws there, you put your squeegee rubber inside of there, clamp down, and it cuts your squeegee rubber very, very nicely with a nice clean cut. If you don't cut your squeegee rubber nicely, it will tend to leave a little bit of a mess on the windows. It will leave lines or arcs, as we call them, on the glass, which we do not want. So make sure that the squeegee rubber has a nice clean cut using a good quality squeegee rubber cutter like this. You will also need something to mark the rubber. So personally, I use something like this, which is a Sharpie pen, so we can draw on where we're going to cut. So here's how to cut your squeegee rubber. What you want to do is get a fresh, brand new bit of rubber like this. Lay your squeegee channel on the top of the rubber. Now, what you want to do, we'll bring this up to the camera so you can see it, is basically leave a few millimeters of rubber showing at the end of the squeegee channel, because that will end up being a bit of a bumper on the frames. If we have no rubber showing like that, then the metal will tend to rub on your customer's frames, and we don't want that. So leave a few millimeters of rubber showing like that. So that's what you want when you cut your squeegee rubber. Check that you have a few millimeters of rubber showing at this end. And similarly on this end, the end you're going to cut, take whichever pen you're going to use, and you don't need to measure this, but just with your eye, usually about 2 to 3 millimeters, something like that, just mark on the rubber there. So I'll bring that up to the camera now so that you can quite clearly see what I've done on the rubber there. There we are. So you can see I've left a little bit of a bumper on that end as well, and that will protect our customers' frames. So take your channel off of the rubber. So now we've got, obviously this is a fresh bit of rubber, so I can use this end because it's brand new, and then I'll cut here where we've drawn our line. So taking the Wolfcraft cutters, you'll notice on these cutters it actually has a line right down the center of the cutters. This is where I'm going to put the little mark on the squeegee rubber. So when that is lined up like so, you can see our line on the rubber lines up with that little line on the cutters themselves. Squeeze down and cut, and then you get a nice fresh cut on the end of that, just like the manufacturers would do. So that will give us a really nice result on the glass when it is squared at the ends. So the next thing we want to do is put this inside of our squeegee channel. So now we have our squeegee rubber cut to the right length. We have to get our squeegee rubber into the channel. Now, depending on the squeegee that you have, sometimes this is an easy job, sometimes it is a little bit tricky. But what we're going to show you today is how to get any squeegee rubber in without any problems at all. This channel is actually quite easy to get the rubber in, but for demonstration purposes we will show you how to get maybe more difficult rubber into more difficult channels. Sometimes it can be a little bit tight depending on the thickness of the squeegee bulb down the bottom of the rubber here. So what I recommend that you use is grab your little bottle of detergent and also a cloth to hold the rubber with. So what we're going to do is take our squeegee channel, open our detergent, and just put a little bit of soap inside of the channel. Just a little bit. It just needs a little bit of lubrication inside of that channel to stop the friction. So I've got a bit of soap in that channel now, and that will just help the rubber to get through that channel that bit easier. So start feeding the squeegee rubber into that channel like so, And this is where the cloth comes in handy, because if it is quite a tight fit, sometimes trying to do this with your hand can be a little bit tricky to grab the actual rubber. So take your cloth, grab the squeegee rubber with your cloth, and then just pull that rubber up through the channel. And you can see it's gliding really nicely. It's not tugging or having to really pull on the rubber to get it through that channel. It's just gliding nicely. And we've got that rubber in there with not too much of an issue. So again, just remind you that you will need a little bit of rubber sticking out at this end and a little bit of rubber sticking out at this end. So for most squeegees, apart from precision squeegees, which we will look at next, this is what you want to do. You'll have to leave a little bit hanging out, and that just protects your customers' frames from your metal squeegee channel. So that is our squeegee rubber into the channel, and all we need to do is attach our squeegee handle onto the channel. Now in this particular case, this channel has little markers on here which tell me where the middle of the channel is. So all I have to do is taking this handle here, push down on this little lever. You can see it opens up the jaws of the squeegee. So open the jaws of the squeegee up. Now what you want to do is this side of the channel with the most metal, shall we say, and the least rubber showing, that is the top of the squeegee. So that is the side of the squeegee channel you will see while you're squeegeeing the window down. This is the underside of the squeegee channel. So this is the side that you're going to attach the handle onto, and the teeth are going to dig into this rubber. So you'll know that is not the side to dig the teeth into. This is the side to dig the teeth into. Now what we're talking about with teeth is the teeth on this clamp here. You can see it's got little metal teeth, and that's what holds our rubber. So with the channel, with the rubber showing, attach our teeth into there, and the clamp's now got a good hold of that squeegee. So there you go. That is what your squeegee should look like when you're finished. So this is the top. This is the side that you see when you're squeegeeing the window down. And this is the underside, the side where your clamp holds the rubber in position. And we've got a little bit of rubber hanging out at each end, ready to do the window. So that is your squeegee set up and ready to go.